I'm Brandi from BrandiStamps.com, here today with a fun video where we're going to feature the Labeled with Love stamp set. This is in the current Stampin' Up catalog. It's one of the newer sets. It comes with a coordinating punch, or you can get dies. And then all of the stamps fit on that little label shape of the die or the punch. This is a video from my BrandiStamps Card Club, and it's a walkthrough of all of the cards that my card club members got to make for our August 2024 card club. Everyone's welcome to watch. You're welcome to check out these cards, copy them, get inspired, whatever you want to do. But I hope too that you'll be inspired to check out my BrandiStamps Card Club. There is a link right in my description where you can learn more. I take new members all the time. Basically, you sign up at the beginning of the month and you receive your kit at the end of the month, and you get to make 8 amazing cards each time. Let's check it out. Each new month for my card club, I choose a different stamp set. So this time it was Labeled with Love. All my card club members knew that. So they either purchased this set, they are welcome to add this set on to their card club packet so that they'll have it, or I really encourage you to use the stamps you have as well. So you don't have to use these stamps to finish your cards. I'm going to show how to finish my cards with these stamps, but feel free to pull out any stamps that you might have at home that need to get inked and used. You're going to want to pull out the following ink pads: Pool Party, Peach Pie, Blackberry Bliss, Garden Green, and Tuxedo Memento ink. These are the 5 inks that I use to finish my cards, but if you have similar colors on hand, that will work as well. And if you are stamping along at home, you're going to want your paper trimmer. I always use a lot of mini glue dots. These are my favorite. My favorite paper-to-paper adhesive is Seal Plus, so grab that. This time we are using some tear-in tape, so if you have that, pull that out. And then both sizes of dimensionals. I've got the mini ones and the regular size dimensionals. You'll also want a pair of scissors. And these are kind of the basic supplies that we use pretty much every time. Let's take a look at what my card club members received. Everybody paid $34 to be a part of this, and they received 4 card kits. Each one of these makes 2 cards. So we've got 4 different designs. You'll make 2 of each. They all come with envelopes. Every little piece has been sorted, prepared, die cut. Everything is ready for you to assemble. And so you get 8 finished cards when you're done with envelopes. Plus, I always include some product. So this time I included a half pack of the designer series paper that's called To Market. It's been cut down to 6 by 6. So you get a total of 24 little 6 by 6 pieces of all these different awesome designs. And we're going to use some of these on our cards, so I'll let you know how to cut these down. And then you'll have lots left over for other projects as well, so that was included. A full roll of our Peach Pie ribbon, which we will use this, but then you'll have lots left over as well. And then a pack of our iridescent faceted gems. Altogether, the products I include are always worth approximately $20, plus the card packets, and it's all just for $34 a month. So it's an extremely good value for my card club members. At least I hope you guys think it is. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to make each of the 4 different card designs. And if you're in my card club, you are going to be making 2 of each of these designs. So I'll just show you one in the video, but of course at home you will double it and do everything twice. So these are the pieces that were in the card kit, and then you're going to cut some designer paper. You're going to want this little flowered piece here, and this little polka dot piece here. These are both 2 by 4 inches, 2 by 4. And then this one is kind of a patterned garden green, and this one is 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. So 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. So cut all of those pieces of paper. You're going to want about 6 inches of your peach ribbon, and we are ready to get started stamping. So one of the pieces in this set is this cool little label frame, which fits right on the label punch really, really well. And we're going to stamp the frame on here with our Memento black ink. So I'm getting the ink pad nice and inky, and I have placed this die cut onto a darker surface because I need to be able to look straight down through this stamp and stamp directly down onto the label. Now it looks a tiny bit crooked. If yours is off, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure you'll be perfect. But if it happens to be a little off, you can always grab your paper snips and cut a little bit of the extra white off of here so that the white edges end up a little more even. And so it's just worked out well that I messed up so that I could show you that good little trick. There's also a happy birthday in the set, and we're gonna stamp that on this label too. It's kind of off to the left side. The stamp set has an awesome little butterfly image, and you actually get the 2 steps. So you got the basic part of the butterfly, the filled in image, and then you've also got the outline to go over the top, so you can do a 2-tone if you want to, and that's what we're going to do on this project. So stamp the peachy butterfly once on the scratch paper and once on your envelope, just kind of lower left corner here. I always like to stamp my envelopes. And now I also want to add the outline of this butterfly, and I'm going to stamp it in the Memento Black. So I'll just go kind of right over the top of this peach butterfly and line it up the best I can. Ooh, nice. Okay. Let's start to assemble the card base. One of the things we're going to do is attach the designer papers to the front. So this will be one of the first steps. Put this little flowery one up to this edge, polka dot one down to this edge, and you'll have a little frame around here on both the top and bottom. Now you can see there's a gap in the center, and that's right where this one will go, and it's a little bit different because it reaches all the way to the edges. So we'll just pull some Seal Plus. Right about like that. Now this ribbon is going to go right just across here. I did it kind of lowish, so maybe right about here. And I want it to end before the edge of the card, so I'll just kind of start it over here. And I'm going to use a couple of mini glue dots to attach it, but I'm going to shrink them down closer to the center so that they'll end up getting covered by my papers that I'm adding. Maybe right about here. Get your best nice ribbon scissors so you can cut a pretty slant. I'm using 4 of my baby dimensionals on the back of here, and this piece is obviously big enough to use the larger ones, but I wanted to avoid the ribbon, so when I stick these down to the card, I want them to stick to paper, not ribbon. Just put it right about here. Okay, now I'm going to just cut out this butterfly, and I want to leave a little bit of a white edge around here. Don't worry too much about it. It doesn't need to be totally perfect, but these edges are pretty easy to follow around. And then I come to these antennae here. I'm just going to bump around those. Okay, now we'll kind of fold this so it looks like it's fluttering, and I'm going to use just a few of my mini glue dots down the body. So I'll let one go right kind of at the top, one at the bottom, one in the middle, and then I'm going to glue it right about here so it flutters right off of this tag. And the final touch will be our little gems that come off this sheet. I like to use my Take Your Pick tool to do this, but I don't have it handy. So I will just pick these up with the tip of my paper snips, my next favorite way. Put a couple right up here. And one right over here. And that is card number 1. Here's the card kit for card number 2. And you're going to cut the little orange polka dot paper. This one is 1 by 5 1/4. And then you will cut this purpley flowered paper. This one is 3 by 5 1/4. So we can start this card off just by adhering some of the pieces. The card base is cut a little bit short, so it's about 1 inch shorter on the front than the back, which gives you a fun little peek to the inside when you are looking at the card front. So the first thing I'm going to do is adhere the big flowery one to the card front, and we'll just give it a cute little frame right around here. And then this larger piece of white is designed to go right inside the card. And then we've got a strip. This one will just go all the way to the right. So completely cover the white on the right edge, just like that. Okay, now this strip is going to adhere to the front of the card as well. I put it about 2 inches up, so feel free to actually measure and line it up with the edge, the fold of your card. And then I attached this with mini glue dots. Let's get a few of those on. Just like that. Okay, the stamp says "You are loved," and we are going to just center it right on this tag. I love this card because great for birthday, wedding day, even a sympathy card. It's excellent for really any time. There's never a wrong time to tell someone that they are loved. So that's one of my favorite greetings ever. So here's our envelope and our card base. Let's pull out the ribbon. You're going to want approximately 11-ish inches. And you're going to attach it to the back of this tag. And so I'm gonna flip over the tag. I'll put a little seal plus on here just to hold this while I'm working with it. And I'm going to make a Z, so zig, zag. Pretty much like this. Let's make that loop a little longer. Want the loop to show from the front for sure. So something like this. See if we like how it's looking, okay? And then I'll also use Stampin' Dimensionals to hold this ribbon down. So I'm going to just kind of coat it. I'm putting several that are right over the top of the ribbon. And this is what's going to hold my ribbon in place where I want it. But it's also going to pop this tag up and make it look very cute on the card front. So I've got a good 7 dimensionals here. Now this tag is going to be placed right about here, so it's a little higher on the green strip rather than the lower. And we'll do a little trim just so that these won't hang beyond the edges of the card. These two pieces are both punched from the bow punch that's in our Stampin' Up! Catalog. This punch is so darling. It just always looks cute and I love it on every card. I'm gonna sneak this one kind of right in here, something like that. And this is another time when your paper piercer or the tip of your snips can help you. Grab a glue dot, tuck it kind of where you want it. Put one there. We'll put one up here. Okay. Now we'll come in with this one. Getting a glue dot on here, fold it back behind if there are any little edges showing. And just tuck this right down with your other sprig. Let's do a few little gems. On this one I used 3, so let's kind of go 1, 2, and maybe 1 down here. Okay, this one is card number 2. So simple and beautiful. Love the glimmer paper. This is from a 3-color glimmer pack that we have just in our online exclusives. This is the olive and the berry, and there's also a white, which we will see on one of our other cards. Here are all the pieces for card number 3. And this one is interesting. It's a little bit of a different fold. So here's your card base. This is 4 1/4 by 10 1/2. And it's already scored at 4 1/4, so that when we fold it up, we'll get that basic card height. But then we've got this extra flap, it's about 2 inches, that is going to fold upward. So use the bone folder to do that. And so this will be the front of the card, and when you open it up, it's going to have a pocket right here. So the first thing I want to do is adhere this white square to the inside of the card. Use a bit of Seal Plus to do that. Okay, that's perfect. Now I'm going to pull in my Peach Pie ink pad and also this little stamp with the presents on it. So the idea here is I'm going to fold this up so that I have an idea of where my pocket edge is, and I want my words "Enjoy Today" to be right here near the edge of the pocket off to the left. And then I'm going to make it so the presents sort of pop up from inside. So I'll tilt this back and forth and let these presents kind of float up like that. Okay. Now while I have that Peach Pie ink out, I'm going to hop over to my envelope. And the stamp set also has this larger gift in it, which is super cute. I didn't use it on the front of any of the cards, so I wanted to do it on the envelope, just so that we would get a chance to play with it. So I'm putting that on the envelope. You could add a few of these guys too if you want. Okay, we should be done with this now. So the next thing I want to do is close up my little pocket. So I'm using the tear and tape on this. If you don't have this, some of our old sticky strip would work. You could even do a row of mini glue dots or the Seal Plus. This is just the most sticky tape that we have that I liked for this little pocket. So I'm just tearing off a piece. Looks like that went off the edge a little. I'm going to peel my backings. And once I have that peeled up, now I'm going to catch that extra adhesive and fold it up like this so that it won't hang out from under there. Tear and tape is really good for if you're assembling boxes or something that just needs to have that extra strength so that it can be really strong. I don't know why I'm having a hard time getting this, but another tip for it is you can use the tip of your paper snips or even the tip of a paper piercer to get it lifted up. Okay, so now when I'm ready to close my flap, I'm going to shut it down. I'm also giving it, like I'm letting it bow just a little bit so that it'll be pocket-ish in the middle there. I want to be able to easily tuck like a gift card or a little bit of cash in there. Let's use the bone folder to burnish that, get a really good stick so the pocket will stay secure. And then we have this great little strip. This is the white paper from our glimmer pack we've been using. It just goes right across the pocket here. And just out of convenience this time, I'm going to use the tear and tape again, only because I had it handy here and because it's skinny. This is a skinny little strip and the tape is skinny, so they work together well. Okay, let's put this right up by the edge, not touching the blue edge. I'm gonna still leave a little lip there at the top, but it'll go close. Something like this. Okay, and so that's the full inside of my card. Now let's come to the front of the card. One of the things I'm going to do is use this little piece to create a present. So I'm using my Pool Party ink pad and the polka dot stamp. I'm going to make this present have polka dots all over. Just re-ink it in between each time and just go all over the present, making dots. Once we have that done, we can set this aside for the moment and do a little bit of stamping on the tag. This I'm going to place onto my dark background so I'll be able to see this edge as I stamp. I want it to say to from. We're going to use more of our peachy colored ribbon, using approximately 4-inch pieces right now. And I'm going to adhere them in a crisscross to create like a present look. So I'm going to lay it across here, fold these ends behind, and put a glue dot underneath the edges. So I'm going to start by just picking up a glue dot on each end of the ribbon. Then I'm finding the center and folding it around. Okay, one more. Okay, now that I have my little present crisscross done, I'm going to flip to the back and use some of my Stampin' Dimensionals. The first thing I want to do is put one on each ribbon end. This is just an additional adhesive to hold it, but it's also, of course, going to work to pop up my present. I will also put one in each corner here, so these are ready to go. And the next layer for my card is going to be this cool polka dot layer. This is the Dotted Circles folder from the Stampin' Up catalog. I've already pre-done these for you. Really lovely texture for the front of this card. And you're going to want to use glue dots in the corners of this layer to be able to stick it down really well, just so it will stay. So often cards from my bin, you know, they've been sitting around for a while and haven't been used, and they fall apart, and it's these embossed layers that often come off. And so if you look and see, you can see that people have tried to use Seal or Seal Plus to attach them, and they just don't stay long term because there isn't enough connection paper to paper to hold it in place. But if you use a mini glue dot, that little kind of blobby, gooey connection that they have helps it stay forever. So there's our glue points, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that will stay attached for sure. So here's the front of our card. It's going to have the present right on the front too. So let's go ahead and peel our dimensionals. We're going to bump the present kind of over to the left side. It's not centered on the card. We're leaving a little bit of room for the cute tag to take up some of the space on this side. But first, let's add a bow to the top of our present. So this time I'm using about 10 inches of ribbon. This is cut a little longer than we need, just so you'll have room to play with. But find the middle of your ribbon and hold it right there. Make the loop to the left of that. So my middle is here and there's the loop. Now I'm wrapping around. I've got my middle finger there so I can tuck and make a bow. So this is what I call an air bow. It's not really attached to anything. We're just creating a bow. You can see that it's very lopsided. That's why I cut it extra long, because I never have perfected getting those two ends the same length. So I just make it longer than I need, and then I trim them to where I need them. So at this point you can decide which side you like the look of better. It's usually the center line that looks any different on the two given sides. And so I'll have this one showing on the front. So let's put a few mini glue dots here. This might be a card that you more hand to someone rather than sending through the mail. It's a little textured between our pocket. It probably has money or a gift card, a lot of texture here. This is popped up. We've got a full bow with a knot up here on top. Let's get cute ends. Now I'm using a couple of dimensionals to attach my tag right up here. And a mini glue dot will help us finish this off. We'll get it on the back of our sparkly star. I'm putting it kind of way down here so I still have plenty of room to write who it's to and from. That is card number 3. Let's finish it off with a little cash. And this is ready to send. Here are all the pieces for card number 4. And we're going to start with the envelope on this one. A cool feature from the stamp set is this little piece that has leaves and flowers, but they're on 2 separate stamps so you can get the two-tone. So I'm going to ink up my leaves with Garden Green and stamp it right here in the corner of my envelope. Then we'll pull in the pool party and the flower stamp. Get this inked up, and then you're going to want to look straight down through the stamp and just kind of line up these flowers. You can see the little stems where they're supposed to be landing. Just kind of pop them right in there. You get that very cute two-tone stamping. So on the actual card, we're not using that, but I definitely wanted everyone to be able to see that. On this piece, what we're going to be doing is stamping flowers all over. So we're actually filling in the whole entire thing with flowers. And the flowers are so kind of randomly placed on this stamp that I didn't twist it back and forth much. I pretty much just stamped it the way they were here. Something like this. We'll give it a few little edges. And then let's stamp this one more time on the little scrap paper that's included. Other stamping, you're going to want the Blackberry Bliss ink pad so that you can stamp just for you onto this little lemon lolly banner. I'm going to bump the words all the way over to the left near the little V and leave this whole edge blank because I'm going to put a flower on that end. Okay, one thing you're going to want to do is cut out a flower from this little stamped image. Of course, if you're making 2 cards, you'll be cutting out this little flower twice. I'm going to take this little piece of linen thread, just wrapping it a couple of times around this end of the tag. I'm going to tie it in just a regular square knot. That means I went right over left. Now the next time I'll go left over right. Get that nice and snug on here. And then let's trim these fairly short, maybe about like this. The other thing I did was unravel it. So I'm twisting this opposite the way from it's already twisted. And I'm getting little bits. There are about 3 threads that are creating this. So getting the 3 of them to become separate. And then the same thing with the other end. Untwist it, separate it. So we've kind of got a lot more texture and little bits coming there. And now on the back of this little flower, let's see. The big dimensional just barely fits, so I'm going to use that because I want that extra big gluey surface to go down over the top of this knot. Ooh, that is looking good. Okay, so some assembly here. This is your card base, and I've already used our Everyday Details dies to do some really cool cutting just along the edge of the front edge of the card. We're going to adhere a regular white piece on the inside of the card, which will create some great contrast. Of course, we want a white space to be able to write inside the card, but now when we close the card, all those little holes from the design, all those little holes from the design will really show. See that? Really cute. And then right above this, it's going to have a strip of designer paper. This comes from your 2 market pack, and it's 1 inch by 5.5. So let's put some adhesive here. This layer is going to go right about here. Imagine this space and put it about in the center of there, so without the bottom flap of the card. And I'll use dimensionals to do that one. 1 in each corner and 1 in the middle. There we go. Now we'll use a couple of mini dimensionals. Do maybe 1 close to the twine, 1 in the middle, 1 on the far end. Looks like the larger ones could have fit here too. Right about like this. And then a real finishing touch on this card, I'm going to use a large gem in the center of our flower. And then I'll just do a smattering of the small ones here, but I want them to be up around, mostly up around the greeting on some of these flower centers. Okay, maybe something like that. And this is card number 4. That means we have done all 4 of these cards. Let's pull them all in so we can get a second look. And here we go. This is it. This is our 4 cards that we created for my August 2024 BrandiStamps Card Club. They all feature the Labeled with Love stamp set. My card club members got to make 2 of each card, plus you have lots of products left over to use for other projects. I hope you guys are loving these cards. Thank you for being loyal to my card club. And if you haven't tried it yet, check out the link in my description. I take new members all the time. No matter when you're seeing this video, you can hop in and join in for Card Club next month. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you for our next crafty date. Bye!